By the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And right now we have the radiant sun. This is the first position. It's called the station, right? This is our sense of self. I feel like you have experienced a period of enlightenment. You've had an awakening, okay? And I feel like your current identity now is with this cosmic consciousness. I feel like you're seeing things sort of outside time and space. I feel as if you're someone who has achieved a bit more unity with your true self or your higher self. Okay, this is the sun card. This is health. This is wealth. This is success. This is joy and happiness. This is a radiance. I feel like you're somebody who is very charming. I think you're very warm. You're a very loving and kind person. I feel like you've connected with something that transcends all of the sort of daily mischief of life. You know, you still are there in life and experiencing the ups and downs and the twists and turns. But there's something in you that has transcended all of that. And maybe for a brief moment, maybe we're just going to enjoy that moment as long as we can. But I feel like we're seeing a lot of the trouble of life as just weather, right? There's a lot of storms here on the surface, but up above everything is this spiritual essence, right? That is unaffected by the events of daily life and those ups and downs and twists and turns, right? This is how we feel in our own selves, right? This is kind of your inner experience. This is this card sort of is your sense of who you are right now. And I think we all need to reflect on looking at life from this solar perspective. You know, trying to identify more and more with our spirit than with our body, hearts, and minds. Okay? Now, body, hearts, and minds are good. We need them. We love them. They're part of us. We are, you know, it's not separate things. It's all one energy. This is just the physical, is just the densest kind of form of energy. The sun is sort of representing the wholeness that we want to achieve, right? Where we want to sort of, we want to slowly cultivate the awareness of the transcendent self, you know, like the one who's really asking the questions. You know, when we ask the question, who am I and why am I here? Who is it that wants to know? You know, this card is someone who does sort of know who they are and why they're here. And maybe that's the awakening that we've had. Maybe that's the enlightenment that we are experiencing currently, is that we have that identification, that we've seen, we've had a glimpse of our true selves, of our true nature, and we have a little bit more clarity, and that's another quality of the sun card, right? We have a little bit of clarity about who we are and why we're here. Now, we need some context around this card, don't we? Context is everything, so let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. We have a 9 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Cups. We have the Adjustment card. There's the Queen of Pentacles with the ups and downs and the twists and turns. Queen of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Over here, we have, ooh, a double shot. We have the Moon card and your superpower card, the Art or Temperance card. Just couldn't wait to get out of the pack here, okay? So that's very good. This is the Art or the Temperance card, which does sort of represent the Sagittarius energy, okay? And we have a Two of Wands, and finally the Emperor. Very nice. Yes, I feel like it's time for action, okay? I feel as if you've had a glimpse of your true self. You know who you are and why you're here. Spirit wants you to act on that awareness now. Whatever it is that you have realized or you've woken up to who you are and why you're here, we need to unfold that. We need to do the work to be that person and to do that work now in the physical. So this is one of the ultimate sort of combos of fire and earth, right? Because this is all that spiritual fire. And now this is saying, let's bring it down to the physical plane and let's start doing it. Let's start manifesting that. Okay? So that's a very good combo. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is the random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we'll just take this one over here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments. Let's use our intuition. Okay? Now, as we look around the room, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana energies. Yeah, this is something where you're co-creating your destiny with spirit right now. Okay, half the cards are spiritual energy, half of the cards are you. And you've got fire, a little bit of water, don't have any air, earth, earth, and earth. So why is there no air cards? It's kind of interesting when we don't get any air cards, right? Because the air cards would sort of be like, we have the turbulent mind, that we have all these questions and we don't have any answers, and our intellectual mind, the ego mind, is confused, is befuddled, is sort of directionless, aimless, is uncertain of life, and that's kind of the normal state for most of us, right? I mean, I feel that way most of the time. But what you have instead is that solar perspective. You have this clarity. You can see past, present, and future. Nothing is hidden from you. There are no questions because it's like not that you know all the answers. I was about to say that, but I didn't. It's not that you know all the answers, but I feel like you have an inner certainty about things, okay? You have a clarity that maybe allows you, maybe there has been a question, and maybe that question is, what should I do? Which way should I go? What's my path? What's my direction? How do I need to change course right now? How should I continue to manifest my life? I feel like that's the question that you've now had the revelation about. Okay, it's not like your intellectual mind was reasoning and doing the math and getting out your calculator and doing the pros and cons list. Maybe it was for a time, okay? But I feel like at some point you let go of that and you just kind of like, you let the answer come to you. It was a revelation, okay? And that's what the Sun card is here. So you've got a lot of really, really good energy. All right. So the absence of the air cards, I think, is very good because there's not this intellectual searching for the answer. There is just this awareness of what you need to do next. Now, the second card in our spread is the battle, right? This is where your task or your quest is revealed. This is the path before you. This is now the Sun, because see, the Sun is a star, right? And the star card is such a special card because it represents the spirit, the universe, God, goddess, deity, whatever it is, spiritual source, our internal star, our soul, whatever. It illuminates us. It gives us this internal awareness. If we let the star, now I know we don't have the star card here, but there's a point to my rambling, okay? The star card, if we allow the light to come in, it will illuminate us from the inside out. Right? Shows us where our blockages are, shows us where our knots of karma are, shows us where our buttons and our triggers, our sore spots, our weak spots, so that we can start working on that stuff. And once we start working on that stuff, fusing those elements together and doing that sort of internal, alchemical fire transformation process, guess what? The light starts to spill out from us. And our light starts to shine out into the world almost uncontrollably, right? People probably are looking at you and thinking, you look different. Something looks different about you. What is it? I can't put my finger on it. It's not the hair. It's not the clothes. It's just like you're glowing. It's like you're radiating light or joy, or you're radiating, kindness or something, right? You're radiating soul. And so there's that part. And then the light also starts to show us our path, gives us our yellow brick road. And that's this. This is now someone who has been, has received the enlightenment from the star card, and now you are a star. Sun's a star anyway, I'm sure you knew that. So this now is you. And you are doing that internal alchemical spiritual work, and your light is radiating out from you, and it's also showing you your path, your yellow brick road, the path to your best life, the path to success, the path to paradise for you, particularly. Okay, and that's what that's what's being illuminated here as the Nine of Pentacles. This is your field of conflict. This is the challenge for you, is how do we take this certainty, this clarity, this light that's dawning in us, this glow, this radiance, and how do we manifest it? So you have to allow this light to show you your path forward, and once you know that path, you have to act on it. That's really what it is, right? The Nine of Pentacles is a card called gain. It's about progress. It's about work. It's about things working out on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. Every dimension of being, in other words, right, is going to be making progress. If you follow your internal star, if you follow your sun, your solar consciousness, everything is going to improve in your life. This yellow brick road is leading you home, is leading you to your purpose. It is your destiny unfolding. Okay? And so the challenge for you, the battle right now, is for you to start doing this work in every dimension of life, following that starlight or that sunlight, right? And this is about progress. This is a lot of, this is sort of showing you the path before you. It's showing you the long and winding road of your future, showing you the ups and downs and the twists and turns. And that's sort of a challenge. It's like Spirit saying, you got this path to success right now. And in a very practical way, I feel like you've had some sort of a revelation or a discovery that showed you the path to get to whatever your goals are. Maybe you've got physical or financial goals, mental, emotional, spiritual, or creative goals, or all of these things. So I think in a very particular way, Spirit has shown you what path to take. And now it's just a matter of, let's do it. This is a very good card. This is the card of an increase of wealth, of money. It's an accumulation. It's about gaining, right? It's about stuff coming in. It's about progress. It's about us, getting more of what we wanted in life, what we needed, and what is our destiny to, not accumulate, but maybe accomplish or achieve. It's not necessarily about we're after money. Money might be part of it, sure. I think we all need a little bit of it in order to sustain other aspects of our lives. I do feel like there is a very important financial thing brewing in your life right now, especially with all these Earth cards. The 3, I guess, and the 3 is kind of a lot of Earth cards considering everything else that we have. So the Nine of Pentacles, yeah, it's a very, very positive card. You got some really good stuff going in your life right now, but we have to get to work. Okay, we have to start putting this spiritual certainty, this identity, this who I am and why I'm here, clarity. We have to put it into action. We have to start manifesting that and doing that work to travel that road. The sun can rise and show you the road, but it's up to you to start walking. And that's the Two of Wands that we see right here. Okay. Now the third card is the card of the soul, right? This is the hidden self. This is what's sort of the unconscious. This is maybe the deep feelings or some secret longings, right? There's an Eight of Cups here. An Eight of Cups is sometimes a card of hopelessness. And I feel like this is something that we sort of feel inside of us. It's kind of whispering to us a little bit, right? And I think it's discouraging us a little bit. This is really the only challenging card here. Or let me rephrase that. This is the feeling deep inside of you that might be causing some challenges. because I feel that it's sort of preventing us from stepping into our true self. See, if this is your spiritual essence, your solar nature, the Ardor Temperance card is your best self, your best human, the best, like human version of yourself, right? So it's particular, it's unique to you, yeah. Whereas the soul is kind of a little bit more, universal kind of energy. But the Temperance card, that's you specifically. And then, of course, with our Two of Wands, this idea of taking action, it's a Mars in Aries. It's really saying that you've got to break through any of your personal obstacles that are preventing you from manifesting this life. And the personal obstacles, well, that's part of the Eight of Cups. Because remember I said that spiritual light comes in and illuminates us from the inside out. And that inside light is showing us where we might have an Eight of Cups. This is what's being illuminated to you. This is maybe an inner fear. This is some of our, maybe the way we sort of value ourselves sometimes. This is something that Spirit is trying to shine a flashlight on and say, this is what you need to recognize so that you can push forward and get what you need in life to travel that yellow brick road. Okay? And this is sometimes a deeper feeling of hopelessness or of despair, sorrow, melancholy. Okay? There could be some grief for something that's going on still, that's kind of lingering, right? This is something that is ready to be brought into the light. This is an inner fear, or it's part of our emotional landscape that is challenging to us. And it may be a feeling of pessimism. Because, see, it's an Eight of Cups. It's not a Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups would be happiness. This is kind of a feeling like, I'm not getting more happy, I'm getting less happy. And this is kind of us being maybe a little bit cynical about life. This could be an energy that is, I can see the yellow brick road before me, but I'm not good enough to travel that. It's too much work. It's too hard. I'm not the person for that. I can't do it. Or maybe we even feel like I've tried and I failed and now I'm not worthy to travel that path. Okay. So whatever this deep emotional state is, it's a pessimism. It makes us feel as if we can't travel this yellow brick road and get to our boss status, our emperor status here at the end. And it's preventing us even from stepping into our true selves here. Okay. This is a Saturn in Pisces energy. It's restricting our feeling of being worthy of something. Or it's making us feel like our sense of connection or our sense of creativity even, feeling as if it is being squeezed in a bad way. Like there's kind of just saying like, my heart can't take it anymore in a way. Or it's saying that I just don't have anything left in me to give. It's maybe even the feeling like my best days were behind me, my most creative days were behind me, and now we're like an orange that's been squeezed and there's no more juice in it. And so this is kind of that negative feeling or state or even thoughts really that we need to get over, that we need to recognize, I've been doing that. It's kind of like this is a negative feeling. I call it whatever you want. I try not to label too many feelings here because it's such a spectrum of feeling, but we know whether the feeling is a positive one or a negative one, And this is kind of that negative feeling tone that we've been practicing. And we haven't even really known it. So I kind of feel like there in the very recent past, you've been a little bit of a pessimist. Okay, and now that we're having this illumination with this sun card, I feel like we're turning the page here. We're saying, I'm not going to let this get in my way. I'm not going to let this be the blockage that prevents me from traveling my yellow brick road to my prosperity, to my destiny, to my, my best life, my best self. Yeah. So this is that sort of the tendency toward the pessimism or the cynicism even. Yeah, and this is something that needs to be brought to the light. Because this is preventing our full action. It's preventing us from taking just this really enthusiastic and motivated step forward into our truth and accepting the death. This really could be, I see the yellow brick road before me. I have this clarity about who I am and why I'm here, but there's a certain part of me that doesn't feel like I deserve it. Now, what the heck is that, So we've got to deal with that inside of ourselves. Position 4 is called the dwarf. It's old patterns. It's something from our past that is still lingering. This is the adjustment card. This is the card of karma. And this is the position of old karma that is still needing to be untied. So it could be that something happened in your past that it still affects your sense of self-worth or your sense of deservedness. Okay? The sense that, like, you know, I'm worthy of having this kind of success. And that, you know, this is us kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like we have this revelation, we see the yellow brick road, but we're like, okay, as soon as I step on that path, there's going to be booby traps, right? Like this can't be real. And so this is that card of karma. As a card in your recent past, this is perhaps it's sort of representing one or more instances in your life where we sort of knew the right answer, but we didn't act on it. This is a card of higher wisdom and discernment. This is the card of really being able to evaluate things from a higher place, to make good choices for ourselves. And maybe there has been something in you that has sort of sabotaged things when you knew the right choice to make, but there's something in us, and this is in all of us, right? We know the right choice, but there's something in us that says, I'm just going to make the wrong choice. But we know we're making the wrong choice, right? And so that's something that we have to, something else we have to acknowledge in ourselves, okay? I think in the very recent past, there was some kind of a legal matter for you, or there was some kind of a contract thing, or there was something that like lawyers might have been involved in. And I feel like that's now that's done, and it's sort of in the rearview mirror, and we have to let go of whatever that was. We have to move forward past that. Okay? And so I don't know if this maybe has something to do with a marriage or a family thing or some kind of an estate dispute or something like that. I don't think it was like a criminal matter, but it feels like something with like a lot of paperwork or a lot of like, I don't know, it feels like kind of a family thing, maybe. Yeah. And so it might be that this card is kind of saying like the last contract maybe is a work thing even, that the last job that we had didn't really work out. And now we have this revelation, we see this new path before us, but we have to believe that we're deserving of this prosperity, you know. It could be that we were bound to somebody legally, maybe like with a spouse or a partner of that kind. Maybe it's a living situation, right? And there was perhaps a disillusion of that. Okay. On the other hand, this card is also, this is also reminding us that we know how to make good decisions, that we know how to network with things that are good for us and meant for us. Okay, so because this is that card of karma as well, I feel that you have done a lot of karmic work already. Okay, and that you're ready to move forward and follow your yellow brick road. Okay, so whatever this thing is, I think it's resolved, or it's being resolved, and it's allowing you the freedom now to follow your own path. Maybe we're like waiting for a divorce. Maybe this was like we were waiting for a contract to end, or something along those lines. Okay, now this is something that is not. It's not an emotional union. It wasn't like a, it could have maybe started as such, but there was some kind of a legal or some kind of a bureaucracy or some kind of paperwork involved with something, right? Now that it's over, I feel like you have this freedom to follow your path. Okay, so I don't know exactly what that was. The next card is position 5. It's the Giant. And this is the driving force, the impulse that propels you forward. Well, interestingly, it's a card that's looking at the past. It's the Queen of Pentacles, right? Driving you forward is looking at the past, because it's kind of like saying, I don't want to go through those ups and downs and twists and turns anymore. I need to make good decisions. I need to make higher wisdom and discernment, choices. I need to properly allow spirit to guide me. It's like we have this conscience that knows the right answer. But sometimes our ego, heart, mind, body gets in the way and we end up doing the wrong thing, even though I knew the right thing. How many times have we done that? It's like if I would have just followed like my conscience or my intuition and I would have turned left, everything would have been fine. But for whatever reason, I turned right instead, and then it didn't work out, right? So anyway, this is the Queen of Pentacles looking at the past. And this is this is us learning our lessons, basically, right? We've distilled all of the ups and downs and the twists and turns. You see, that figure is looking back at that long and winding road, looking at the path that has brought us to this moment. What did we learn from the past? And what we, sort of our history is inspiring us to move forward on this yellow brick road path with strength, right? What are the virtues that we learned from the past? Because I think that you're somebody who had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of twists and turns, okay? The twists and turns are the changes in our circumstances. The ups and downs is the emotional, right? So it's kind of a crossroads. It's an intersection, really, of the physical and the emotional life. Twists and turns, ups and downs, right? A lot of plot twists, a lot of emotional highs and lows. And this card is saying, what did we learn? Who did we become? Because who we are right now, in our sort of in our humanness, in our personality, let's say, in our soul and with our aura, who we are right now is a result of every thought, word, and deed from the past. Everything that I've ever been through in life, all those ups and downs and twists and turns, have created who I am right now, where I am right now, and what I'm doing right now. So that's how we understand karma. Okay, the sum total of all of our choices that's led to this moment. So now we know that who I want to be in the future, where I want to be, and what I want to be doing is all dependent upon the choices I make right now. And that's how we're using this card to sort of as motivation. So we need to know, like, what kind of person do I need to become? I need to be optimistic. I need to be confident. I need to be perceiving and thinking clearly. I need to be trusting. I need to be loving, compassionate. I need to be grateful. I need to be disciplined or motivated. Like, what are those qualities? What are those virtues that you need? Okay. I feel that there is something in your life that you're trying to carry forward. I don't know. The Spirit's telling me something about carrying something forward. So I don't know if it's a family tradition, or if it's some sort of family history, or if it's the continuation of sort of like a family like belief or a family value, something that you're trying to carry forward. Yeah. And I don't know if it's the continuation of some sort of family business or family work, or if it's like, or even it's this kind of this idea that like you're going to be the first person in your family to do something or achieve something, or you know what I mean? It feels like something along those lines for you. Yeah. But the next position, the sixth position, is the imago. This is the image of your future self. The next step on your path, right, is hard work. It's a card of change. This is a card of worry. This is the card of like rearranging the furniture, packing the bags, tearing down the fence to build a better fence. This is the physical labor. It's literally saying that we've got to move our bodies. This isn't something that we sit here and think about or dream about or wish for. It's physical work. So whatever you're doing in your life, the first steps on this yellow brick road for you are going to be about rearranging certain things in your life. So maybe you're rearranging the furniture. Maybe you're like buying and selling things. Maybe you're like you're clearing out a space for your art studio. Maybe it's about you going out in the world and collecting certain resources that you need. Okay? This is the recognition of those kind of preparatory steps that need to be taken. The first few steps on the path are kind of about just getting our materials together. We go around and we collect the stuff we need for our journey, for our quest, It feels like a fantasy novel or something. I've been thinking lately to get into reading fantasy books, but I don't know any good ones except for like the typical stuff like Lord of the Rings or something. If you have any good fantasy books that you could recommend for me, I would love that. I'd really appreciate that. I like the idea of quests, and adventures like that, I think. And if there's some magic and stuff in there, I think that'd be fun too. But I feel like the first steps on that quest are just like, preparing the way, getting the resources we need, figuring out what should I put in my backpack before I go on my hike, And so that's going to be the next, the next steps for you. Like, how do you align your actions to this emerging destiny, whatever you understand it to be now? Your clarity, who I am and why am I here? I see the yellow brick road. What are the first few things I got to do? What actions do I need to take to align myself with that? I feel like it has something to do with moving physical things around. It's either like transferring money, it's moving furniture, it's clearing out a room so you can put your drums in there or something, or it is, it's packing a bag, it's getting rid of old stuff to make room for new stuff, but it's something about stuff, okay? It's literally like some stuff there, okay? So these are the choices, these are the actions, the physical actions we need to take in order to start shaping the vision that we have of what our life will become. Not could become, but will become. Now, Path of the Serpent, we have the Moon card. And, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free, okay? Position 7 is called the Persona, and this is general energy. This is sometimes how we've been presenting ourselves to the world. Could be very often the mask that we wear, sort of in the greater theater of life. But I think that what this card is sort of showing is that we're going from a state of uncertainty to a state of certainty. We're going from a state of confusion to clarity. Because the sun is rising in this card, right? So everything that is hidden, everything that is unknown or confusing to you is being revealed to you. And so I feel like this is us kind of feeling like we're out here in the world just wandering around. I'm like in the dark. I can't even, I don't know what's even around, right? To then finally our eyes opening, our third eye, our spiritual eye, our consciousness opening, and realizing, yes, this is who I am, and this is what I'm supposed to do with my life right now. And so when we have that sort of an awakening, it's like we're emerging from a sleep, from a dream, It's like suddenly it's daytime, and we've been groping around in the dark for so long. Okay, this is sometimes the mask that we wear out in public. Okay, and this might be, and it's maybe not intentional, but this is kind of the mask of somebody that doesn't really have a sense of who they are, doesn't really have a sense of purpose, is kind of, still. I don't know how to say this, but still kind of dreaming their way through life. Doesn't have the confident steps that we would see with the Sun card, with your Power card, with the Two of Wands, with the Emperor. Like, these are powerful cards. The Moon card is kind of a card that says, I'm not really sure what I'm doing yet. So it kind of feels that, like, when we're out in the world as just our human personality, our human self, it kind of feels like, I don't really know who I am. Don't really know why I'm here, And maybe that has been our feeling for a while in life. That we can see ourselves as being this way out in the world, like I just been if we look at ourselves like from a third person perspective, for some reason when I usually dream in third person. I don't know. Do you do that? What is that about? But we're sort of looking at ourselves and we're saying, yeah, that's somebody that maybe has gone through a lot of different jobs, a lot of different relationships, bounced from one place to the other, kind of just doesn't seem like they really have a solid grasp of who they are and why they're here and what they want, where they're going, what they're made of, But that revelation is happening for you. Okay, so this is no longer the mask that we need to wear, one of confusion or doubt or fear. We're moving into clarity and confidence and motivation. And that sort of brings us to our Temperance card. This is position 8. This is the Shadow card. Sometimes these are the hidden or denied or repressed energies or aspects of ourselves. And this is the Temperance card. This is the Art card. This is your superpower. And it's your ability to sort of take every experience in and turn it into gold, right? So that's kind of like when we're wandering through the darkness here. This is the card of the dark, scary forest. We feel like we're just, wandering around the dark, scary forest. But you realize that is of tremendous value to you. All of that experience is spiritual gold, right? That you're fusing all of your experiences together into a sort of I don't know, into a really delicious gumbo, you know? I feel like you have so much experience of life that it really is an asset. It's valuable, right? Some people live very sheltered lives where they kind of stay in one place doing one thing, working one job with one person for a long time. And then you have other people that kind of have been wanderers, as I kind of am feeling like you've been, going different things, doing different jobs, working, being interested in different things, collecting a lot of different experiences. And that has value for you because that gives you a familiarity with a lot of different things, a confidence, a comfortability with a lot of different things. Okay? So sometimes this card shows us where we really need to step into our power, right? And by embracing this kind of confident, but also very, it's kind of like it's very eclectic, you know? I feel like you have you're kind of like you're like a mashup of different energies, you know? I feel like you're not just one thing, you know? It's like this, I like one type of music, I watch one type of TV show, I'm one personality, I'm like one thing, you know? I feel like you're Technicolor. You know, you have a lot of different aspects of yourself and a lot of different interests. You know, some people in their house, they have like, you know, they might decorate their house in like just one like modern style, or just like I just do like a Japanese style or something, right? I feel like you got a little bit of everything, you know? I feel like you're a collection of a lot of things. And I feel like that's a part of you that you really need to embrace. Because sometimes we might be that way and feel like, God, I wish I just I kind of knew my style. Like I wish I just had one vibe or one aesthetic, one general kind of theme that my life could be or that I could be, right? But I feel like you're wearing dance clothes on the bottom, but like a suit and tie up top kind of thing, right? It's just a mixture, you know? And once we embrace that about ourselves, we'll find that is really that's like an expression of your creative power. Okay, I think that stepping into our best self, I think we have to identify with our best self. Now, this is the position of your environment and your relationships. Okay, I think that we need to have a good relationship with ourself where we can identify with the ideal version of ourselves. Okay, the only person we're comparing ourselves to is the ideal version of ourselves. Now let that sink in. Because this is the person, this is the best of you. This is all the virtues, all the qualities, everything that you could become, fulfilled potentials. This is the person that we want to identify with. This is the person we want to compare ourselves with and say, this is who I'm becoming, this is the real me, and this is what I'm stepping into. And I think it is really a self-acceptance, a self-love. It's an identification with those, with the ideal version of ourselves, with full acceptance. Okay, and it might be that we've been sort of afraid of stepping into this, into our true selves. Okay, this is kind of like the mask that we now have to wear. It's not really a mask. I mean, everything's a mask, I guess, but it is one that we are creating. Okay. This is the card of alchemy. This is the card that reminds us that we can always influence our environment. The environment is going to influence us. It's going to be a symbiotic relationship, and that we are going to become, we already are. It's just a matter of identifying with this version of ourselves. We are that person that is kind of walking this yellow brick road and getting to this emperor success. Yeah. The next card is position 9, and this is called the Spectre. Sometimes this is our fear, worry, and concern. This is our dread. This is the obstacle we have to overcome. This is something that we fear the most, and this is Mars and Aries. And it really is just saying, like, we have to get moving. See, there's no fire energy over here. There's sort of fire energy over here because it's the, obviously, Sagittarius fire. But we don't actually get any fire cards, any wands until we get here. And this is the key to your liberation. You've got to get mad, and you've got to take action, and you've got to get fired up. This is self-motivation. This is like, I'm motivated just by the sheer fact that I want this in my life. I want to become this person, and nothing's going to stop me. because I'm tired of not fulfilling my potential. You know, this is the card of dominion. This is the card that says only I can control what I do. You know, I can't control anybody else. I can't control all of the infinite variables of life, but I get to decide whether I walk this path or I don't walk this path. And I can't, and if I recognize that power, I can't blame anybody else, right? So we sort of have a little bit of a fear or an anxiety about taking charge of our life and doing the thing that we need to do. Well, maybe because it's going to take us outside of our comfort zone. It's going to pull us out of a state that we've been in, sort of a comfortable state, even if it hasn't been a joyous state. But it's taking us. It's requiring change, and change is always scary. This is the card that says I'm ready to make the change, and I'm using my willpower to change whatever it is that needs changing, so that I can fulfill my destiny. And that's position 10, the destiny, the culmination, the fruit of your labor, the fully realized self. And this is somebody who, I mean, this is boss energy. I feel like this is you taking charge and becoming a business owner, becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a leader in some way, right? This is you realizing that you have the authority, that you can make the choices, right, to unfold this path. Now you're on the King's Road. Okay, now your yellow brick road is, you're walking down it like you own it, with such confidence and assertiveness. So we need to ask, how do we step into that leadership role in our lives right now, where we can take charge and we can take these steps to embrace our destiny, whatever this revelation is about who you are and why you're here. This is you owning it. And this is you walking forward confidently in order to achieve this reality. I think there is, maybe it has more to do with career or a business. Maybe it's a YouTube channel, I don't know. But I feel like this is the confidence to kind of like, to believe that we are already that person that is doing that. And so again, it kind of asks the question, like, the person that's successful on this path, who is that person and what skills and virtues and talents do they have? Because that helps us to know what choices I need to make now so I can become this person. Okay, so it's that karma again. Now, let's look at the mystery card. This is position 11. It's the card of the guide, the higher self, the inner teacher, the wisdom that waits to lead you onward. And I feel like this might be the Empress. It might be a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles, 9 or a 10 of Cups. Okay? If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. I'll give you a moment. Let's see what we have. The Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is blessing your journey with its counsel. What message does this card have for you? The guidance of this card says, just get up and do it. Act now. We don't have to wait until we have all the information. You don't have to wait until you sort of, you feel like you know what you're doing. You don't have to wait for the confidence. You have to build the confidence. And how do you build the confidence? Taking risks. By getting up and doing the thing. And the more times you get up and do it, the page is a squire, right? It's a knight in training. It's sort of training to be the emperor. You got to start somewhere. Every emperor at one time was a squire. Was it, I mean, in the tarot, whatever, just go with it. Was a page, was a squire, right? And so we have to start where we are in life. We can't say, well, maybe I'll go to the gym once I lose a little bit of weight. Excuse me? Maybe I'll start, doing this or that activity once I get a little bit more confidence or I get a little bit better at doing things, But that's how we get better. That's how we get the confidence, right? Well, it's like, I got to wait and develop these virtues first before I can walk my yellow brick road. No, walking the road is where you get the virtues. And so this is that card that says, if I want to become a knight or an emperor, if I want to become the boss of my life and really, feel like I've got ownership over my life and I'm successful in whatever way this is for you, feels like finances, I've got to start doing the work now. So we have that ultimate fire and earth thing again here, see? Fire and earth. The spiritual electrical circuit of creation. We have to start moving things around in the physical world, even if we don't have the confidence or the virtues or the capabilities or the belief in ourselves. We're not the emperor now. I mean, we are, but we haven't uncovered that part of ourselves yet. That's what we're doing here. The Page of Wands has to begin. If you want to become the emperor, you have to start as the squire, and you've got to start doing the thing. And so this means that we're giving ourselves permission to fail, to fall down, to have false starts, to make mistakes, you know, to have moments where we don't know what the heck we're doing, but we're learning, right? We're a knight in training. So I think this is really an awesome message from your guide right now that says, wherever you are in life, get up and start doing the thing that you know you need to do to walk this path that you know is your path. Yeah. We have to act now. Anyway, I want to remind everybody that the tarot does not predict the future. Okay? The tarot gives us a snapshot of the present energies, shows us where some of the likely outcomes and the likely energy clusters are. So please let the lesson of these 11 stations settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation. Okay? We're trying to reveal some of the patterns of possibility. Spirit is inviting you to co-create your destiny. Okay? And if this reading has illuminated your path, share your reflections below. Together we journey onward, ever upward, and ever inward. And now we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner, and there's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius on Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.